Hi, what's poppin'? It's your boy Big Rich, Queens, New York City, where we get busy. A little Tuesday afternoon business. Ladies and gentlemen, come on in. Wipe your feet on the rug. Throw some smoke in the atmosphere. It's been a second since we did a mob story. Let's get into this one. It's a big story. We've been covering this man for a couple of years now. You know, I've been rooting for him, hoping he would never get caught, but he finally got caught. Let's get right into the story. In a way, I'm just glad that at least we know that he didn't die or he's not dead. I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys, but it's just like, everybody used to leave in the comments, he's probably dead. He's probably dead. And I would always say, nah, he's not dead. He's not dead. Because if he was dead, they'd know. You know what I mean? Somebody would know about it. Wanted mafia boss Matteo Messina Denaro arrested after 30 years on the run. A mafia boss accused of dozens of murders has been finally arrested after spending 30 years on the run. The Sicilian Cosa Nostra Mafia's Don, Matteo Messina Denaro, was arrested today by the Italian Special Operations in Palermo, Sicily. Denaro, whose nickname is Diabolic, was seized inside the Maddalena private clinic as he was being prepared to undergo treatment for an undisclosed condition, said the officer who heads the police force's Special Operations Squad. Now I want to know who snitched on him. But local media said that Denaro had checked into the clinic under the false name of Andrea Bonafide for cancer checks after undergoing an operation there 1 year ago. The 60-year-old was taken to a secret location by police immediately after the arrest, Italian state television reported. Video taken outside shows jubilant crowds piling into the streets and celebrating as Italy's mafia task force hauled the crime lord away into custody. Denaro was the last of 3 top-level mafia bosses who had eluded capture for decades. He was also thought to be Sicily's top mafioso. A pair of officers, each holding an arm, walked him down the front steps of an upscale clinic and led him to the waiting black van on a gray morning. Messina Denaro was wearing a brown leather jacket, trimmed in shearling and matching white and brown skull cap, and his trademark tinted glasses. He was taken to a secret location by police immediately after the arrest. A young man when he went into hiding, he is now 60. Messina Denaro, who had a power base in the port city of Trapani in western Sicily, was considered Sicily's Cosa Nostra top boss even while a fugitive. Around the time he fled in 1993, he also wrote a letter to his girlfriend indicating his name might become associated with serious bloodshed. The murders, including the slaying of Giuseppe Di Matteo, who was the 12-year-old son of a rival mobster who was strangled and dissolved in a vat of acid. He was also held responsible for the massacres of 1992 and for attacks across Milan, Florence, and Rome in 1993. For the police, Denaro was the last of the original mafia bosses still wanted. His decades-long avoidance of law enforcement made him one of Italy's longest-running fugitives, beating the record of his faithful ally Toto Riina, who escaped handcuffs for 23 years. His pal Bernardo Provenzano managed to avoid prison for 38 years. Once Provenzano, captured in the farmhouse near Corleone, Sicily, in 2006 was in police hands, the hunt focused on Messina Denaro, but despite numerous reported sightings of the boss, he managed to elude arrest until Monday. That all 3 top bosses were ultimately arrested in the heart of Sicily while they conducted decades of a clandestine life won't surprise Italy's police and prosecutors. Law enforcement have long said that such bosses rely on contacts and confidentiality of fellow mobsters and complicit family members to move the fugitives from hideout to hideout, supply basic needs like food and clean clothing and communication, and a code of silence known as omerta. Riina and Provenzano lived out the last years of their lives in the strictest of Italian prison conditions, reserved for unrepentant organized crime bosses, and refused to cooperate with investigators. Messina Denaro was believed to have enjoyed a more comfortable lifestyle in his decades hiding from police, leaving some to speculate whether he might agree to cooperate with prosecutors in exchange for more lenient prison conditions. I doubt that very much. I wouldn't put anything past anybody, but I doubt that this man will talk. Worried of being tracked down by cell phone use, mafia bosses frequently resort to handwritten notes known as pizzini. When Provenzano was nabbed in his rustic, almost primitive hideaway in the countryside, police found a stash of such notes. With the crackdown that began in the 1990s against Sicily's Cosa Nostra, The island's mafiosi started losing their dominance in Italy compared to other organized crime syndicates. While the Sicilian Mafia was significantly weakened by a small army of turncoats on the mainland, the 'Ndrangheta syndicate based in the toe of the Italian peninsula steadily eclipsed Cosa Nostra in reach and influence. Unlike Sicily's crime syndicates, the 'Ndrangheta draws its foot soldiers based on family ties, leaving it less vulnerable to turncoats. The 'Ndrangheta is now one of the world's most powerful cocaine traffickers. After 30 years on the run, Messina Denaro, aka El Diabolique, has been caught, arrested in a hospital going for an exam. I want to know who snitched. I wonder if they're going to come out with the report of how they caught him. They probably won't. There's probably somebody on the inside. They probably got a high-level snitch. I mean, really high up. Now, it's interesting that they would put in the article that he himself may snitch. I don't know. I mean, at this age, you live 30 years on the lam. Maybe he doesn't want to die in jail. I mean, but what is he going to give him after 30 years? But then again, who knows what he knows? I hope this man does not snitch. I would hate to have to, you know what I mean? Everybody here on this platform has been rooting for you for a long time, buddy, while you were on the run. I knew you weren't dead. You could look at the comments when people were like, he's probably dead. I'm like, no, he's not. So, big story. In a way, I'm just glad that we know that he's alive. But, unfortunately, they're going to make an example out of him. They're going to try to give him as many years as possible. Probably try to get him to rat just to fucking make an example out of him. But I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think this man will open his mouth. I mean, if you lived on the run for 30 years, at any time you could have turned yourself in and been a disgraciado. You didn't. Man, I would give anything for them to break this man out of jail again and just let him go on the run again. Come on, let's see it happen. Yeah, I got a different sense of justice, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I mean? When you have bigger criminals locking away smaller criminals, something's wrong with the system. Anyways, Big Rich, Queens, New York City. Today's show is brought to you by Ice Cream Float by the Jungle Brothers, coming in at a 36% THC level. One of the dankest smokes I ever smoked. Let me know what you're smoking on. Let me know what city you're smoking in. Let me throw some shout-outs out there to Jimmy Dean, our people in Tennessee, Hilco Bossman, our people in Amsterdam and Europe, Oddman Rush, salute to you, Mr. J, salute to you, Nino Brown, my man in L.A., salute to you, and salute to everybody that listens to the Mob Stories. We will talk soon. Salute.